Now I'm just going to wrap up by talking about the 5 points, actually only 4 because I've tried my best to find the 5th one and I can't find it. So I'm going to talk about the 4 that Mumin Ali Khan talked about in that video, which again I will reference. The 4 the first is love for Allah. So again, just to bring this all together, talking about a framework, an action plan, my action plan of Islam. So in terms of how to prioritize, what to focus on, in terms of not just direct active worship like active ibadah, but also other things we do that please Allah. So for example, studying to get a degree to work in a job as I'm doing biomedical engineer, so I can actually work on the technologies that are used in healthcare and be able to improve that process by developing new concepts and new technologies. How to prioritize that versus direct active ibadah, or like the scale we should be working on, the things that we should be chasing after in this world as well as in the hereafter. So that's what my actionable framework is trying to help me like organize, so I can be more, not just actually follow, but be more confident in the way I'm practicing my religion. Because I know sometimes people say, we place too much attention on things that are important. For example, like wearing a scarf versus not wearing a scarf, or praying your daily prayers on time versus um, you know, eating halal or not eating halal. Like these are things that I'm trying to develop like a whole framework. Again, whole concept of eudaimonia. Currently striving to do that in the best possible way I can. And as we know, the reason we're here in this world is to worship. So again, just doing a brief recap on that, and then talking about those 5 things. Only 4 because of that video. First, love of Allah. That should be the thing. If we've got worship in our core, or the top of the pyramid. Let's just go for the core, because I'm using the strawberry picture. Worship being in our core, the things that relate to that, love of Allah, obedience, obey Allah. Third thing being sincerity, so doing the things you're doing for the sake of Allah because you love Allah so much, and you're obeying Him and doing that in a sincere manner. I think what he mentioned here, if we just briefly look at that, yes, sincerity, everything you're doing as a slave of Allah. Now, Allah, not thinking about slavery in the bad connotation that it has, because we know other people in slavery, as we've known it, other people are the masters, but Allah is unlike His creation, and He's an amazing master who we pray to, and He actually gives us what we want. So yeah, for the sake of Allah, and all the goals we have being towards that ultimate agenda of service to Allah. That's what it means to be sincere in your worship to Allah. And then trust, having tawakkul. So trusting that, for example, if something bad happens, trusting that Allah made that happen to you for a reason. And a podcast I was listening to by Mufti Menk, he spoke about, which I found really, really nice, in terms of like the trust in Allah, is trusting that when something bad happens to you, is like a way of thinking about it is, what have I done to make my Lord have this before me? Not in a bad way, but in terms of like, you should check yourself, how can you improve on what you're doing? How can you, or it might just be a direct blessing, it might not be a reason for you to check what you're doing, it might just be a direct blessing for Allah, something that you consider as something negative because He's trying to find a way to bring you closer to Allah. Yeah, and I think I realized, because I'm recording this video like this, and as I was taking my walk, I'm a very eclectic person. I'm also quite, she said by herself, about herself, to herself. Um, but yeah, I was just trying to mention the fact that I know I'm in a onesie that has a carrot thing, but like I didn't realize, like when I was walking down the road, it does get looks, but it does the job it's supposed to do. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I think I'm gonna put the Angelina Jolie thing again at the end because I like that ending. That she talks about. Anyway, yes, you see it. Yeah, so this is just part 1 of the framework. I think I showed like a very rough sketch of what this framework is. I hope my editing skills are good enough. But yeah, I feel like I've been sitting on this information, especially the one about the gems from Angel Jibril, and I just would like to reshare that. So yeah, I'm gonna go edit now. Hopefully I'll post this today. Inshallah I will.